So Riot is soon to be releasing Swarm, a new game mode for League of Legends. But what if I told you that this game mode has some implications and hints as to what may come in TFT's 12th set? And if my predictions are correct, then set 12 may be the first set in TFT history to revisit a previous set's thematic, that being Monsters Attack, TFT's 8th set. With Swarm coinciding with set 12 and Aurora's new release, the odds of this are extremely high. Just like the odds of you hitting that subscribe button. But let's begin by looking at the first clue Riot gave us, which is in the TFT 2024 roadmap. The text for set 12 explicitly says magic, mayhem, and bees. Now, if you watched my previous video on this roadmap, then you would know that I initially thought that this set was going to include the Beast skin line. However, with the recent release of Swarm on the PBE, I realized that bees was a double entendre. As in, you hear buzzing, you think it's bees, but it's actually a swarm. Thus, the text is actually magic, mayhem, and swarm. So set 12 is related to Swarm, especially with set 12 releasing 2 weeks after Swarm and during Riot's broader summer event, which will likely span all of their game modes. In the past, Riot have done something similar where set 6 and Arcane Season 1 released around the same time. And Riot are seemingly doing this again for Arcane Season 2 and set 13. Especially with both Arcane and Set 13 releasing around League of Legends 15th anniversary in October. Now you may be thinking that I'm getting a bit ahead of myself talking about Arcane, but that's an important distinction to make, especially with the following clip from Mortdog.
Threats are a big positive. We love threats. I can tell you that at least one future set in the future has threat-like things in it. That's the vague answer I'll tell you.
So threats are coming back. Great, but when? Well, set 14 has just started production a month or so ago, and I presume that units likely aren't locked in at the point that Mortdog made this statement. And as I emphasized, set 13 is related to Arcane, in which threats don't really make sense thematically. So that just leaves set 12 as the only set that threats can reappear in. But what if set 12's thematic also doesn't make sense? Well, there's a few clues that set 12's thematic is similar to set 8's, the progenitor set of hero augments and threats. First up, let's go back to the Swarm game mode because the timeline of its development is also another clue. What's funny is that Necrit is actually partially responsible for this game mode existing, as he mentions in the following clip.
And what's absolutely crazy is that apparently I am responsible for this game mode existing. This game mode was prototyped by a writer called Ryan. Apparently, he watched one of my videos where I was complaining about PvE not being in League, and he was inspired to just fiddle with the spaghetti long enough for him to make a prototype.
As Riot August said on the 21st of June, Riot have been working on Swarm for almost a year now. And for context, Riot August is the design lead for Swarm, and he actually helped ship TFT back in set 1.
TFT was one of my favorite times at Riot when I was helping ship TFT. It was an incredible time with that team just getting a new game out the door. Very fun, very rewarding. And the PvE mode I'm really loving as well.
Anyway, this timeline implies that Swarm was prototyped around the same time set 8 was on the live servers. And what's certain is that this was before set 12 has started any production. Although I'm not sure who exactly is in the pod for set 12, I do know that Sloan was the designer for set 8 and then set 11, and now he should be working on set 14. Thus, with TFT's 3 sets a year system, the pod that was on set 9 is also behind set 12. Likewise, the pod that made set 10 is behind set 13. So with the development of Swarm and set 12 being concurrent, it is very possible and likely that Riot planned for both to coincide in theme, which is made easier with Riot August being the lead developer and having worked with the TFT team before. So at the very least, I believe the theme of Swarm and set 8, the Anima Tech universe, will also be the theme of set 12. And the primordials in this universe, like Aatrox and Bel'Veth, were previously known as threats in set 8. And the city that Swarm occurs in is Final City, which is very similar to Spatulopolis, the setting of Monsters Attack. And with the Anima Squad skin line getting several more additions in this event, all the more likely that the Anima Squad trait will see a revival in set 12. I just hope they bring back set 8 MF because she was so cool. But for the first time in TFT history, we may be going back to a previous set's thematic. Anyway, moving on, there's also hidden clues in Set 11's learnings article. The first one is Riot teasing how hero augments we've seen before will reappear in Set 12. This is actually a huge clue because we won't see Set 11's hero augments again because we just had them. Set 10 didn't have any hero augments due to the headliner mechanic, and Set 9 only had 5 hero augments. So let's have a look at those Set 9 hero augments and their respective champions. Now, things become interesting if you look at these champions and see which skins would fit in an Anima Tech universe. You have Hextech Swain, Project Warwick, Hextech Kassadin, Mecha Kingdom Set, and Birdio. And if you recall, Project Warwick, Mecha Kingdom Set, and Birdio were the exact same skins used for these units in Set 8. Although I'm not sure if you'll see the Hextech skins. They're set in a futuristic version of Piltover and Zorn, but that didn't stop Riot from including these units in Set 6's mid-set. But there's also the possibility that none of these hero augments are in Set 12, and so we have to go even further back to the origin of hero augments, Set 8. You see what I'm getting at, right? All roads lead back to Set 8. However, as the emphasis is on low-cost tanks becoming carries, a vast majority of Set 8's hero augments are immediately ruled out from appearing. My instinct is that we'll see the return of a hero augment for an Anima squad unit, however most of them were just too supportive or not unique enough like Riven's. But there was one that was hailed as perhaps one of the best hero augments ever, which was Stacks on Stacks for Nasus. Everyone loved this augment back in Set 8, and I'm certain they'll also love its return. Nevertheless, low-cost tanks becoming carries is also confirmation that the set mechanic is not solely focused around hero augments like Set 8. Set 12 will have an entirely new set mechanic, possibly focused around magic and mayhem. Although I don't know if magic exists in the Anima Tech universe, which is why I think this is intentionally misleading. And this amplifying tome and the word magic is specifically referring to a champion and not a theme. This is further hinted at again by the learnings article, where Riot said to keep your eyes peeled for a unique magic user that scales with attack speed. The fact that Riot emphasized that this mage behaves in a way you don't expect leads me to believe that this is referring to the new top lane mage, Aurora, that's coming out alongside Swarm. Furthermore, what's interesting about Aurora is that her initial concept dates back to 2018, before TFT even released. Before her appearance in TFT, I'm expecting her ability to either stack through something similar to her passive, or be some sort of combination of a Q and R, where she teleports across the board and recalls spirits through everyone she's dealt damage to. Therefore, I believe the amp tome image in the 2024 roadmap was a red herring. And in reality, that just means Aurora is making her first appearance in Set 12, donning her new Anima Squad skin. But that Anima Squad skin line is interesting for another reason, and that reason being that MF is getting another skin alongside her existing Battle Bunny skin. This skin was the one that was used for her in Set 8 as part of the Anima Squad trait. So that opens up the possibility that MF will be the transforming unit in this set, where she alternates her skin based on what mode you selected. This would be akin to Xayah and Rakan in Set 11, Sona in Set 10, GP in Set 9, and Aphelios in Set 8. Although having said that, there's also the possibility that this is true for Yuumi, as she is also getting 2 skins in this event. But MF is way more likely because Yuumi's second skin is a prestige skin. I may not be recalling correctly, but I don't remember a time where a prestige skin has been used in TFT. But surely it's not Yuumi, right? Like, over MF? Really? Yuumi is so boring compared to MF, no? But overall, those are all the clues I could find about Set 12 through Riot's new game mode, Swarm, the learnings article, and tidbits here and there. Look, I know it's way too early to say this, but through what I've learned in this video, I've become certain that we're going back to Set 8's theme. This is really exciting for me personally because I was a huge fan of the possible hidden story Set 8 had, especially with the introduction of Infinity Team Ezreal. I don't remember where I saw it, but there was a fan-made story wherein Ezreal and his group of underground vigilantes couldn't stop the threats. So in the future, Ezreal decided to go back in time with his new group, Infinity Team, and team up with his younger self to change the future. I thought that was such a cool story back then, and I still do now. So I'm curious to see if we'll get any larger stories coming out of the shared universe between Swarm and Set 12. But of course, we'll have to wait and see. Set 12 will drop on the PBE on July the 17th, so we'll confirm everything then. At this point, I should pass over the questions to you guys. What do you think about these clues for set 12? Do you recommend going back to the Anima Tech universe or somewhere else altogether? Will MF or Yuumi be the transforming unit? And will we see Aurora in TFT? Let me know in the comments, and remember to subscribe. Anyway, check out these other videos if you want to see more from me, and as always, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.